I'm Lisa.
And I'm Leah.
And this is Chick Chat with FancyFlip Events,
where we talk about wedding planning, our resale events, and our trailblazing journey as a new business.
FancyFlip is a great place to get wonderful things for your wedding, but we're going to go through and give you 10 tips that are going to make the experience even better.
Right, so we're going to go down through these 10 tips and give you a little bit on how to be the most prepared for the event. So tip number 1, choose a good friend.
You're going to want to share this experience with somebody. It's great to get wonderful deals and get all the great stuff, but it's so much more fun if you have somebody there you can bond with, have an experience. We like to say, make a memory.
Make a memory, yeah. The second tip is bring cash. Bring cash.
We kind of debated whether or not to make that tip number 1 or whether tip number 2, but we think bringing a friend is certainly the number 1 thing that ought to be on your list. Bringing cash is a close second, though.
Yes.
We do this a lot for the convenience of our sellers. Mm-hmm. These are just newlyweds. These aren't people that set up regularly at events or anything like that.
Some of them might choose to get a credit card reader of some sort, but most are not. And cash is always best anyways.
And we don't want to require anybody that's selling with us to do that. Yeah. So think about that as a buyer. Just make sure you're prepared.
Right.
Bring cash with you. And remember, as a seller, that's going to be a good thing for you.
Yep. So bring cash. Number 3 is get advice. These are people who have just gotten married and they have a ton of information to share with you.
And you would pay $9, $10, something like that, just to buy a magazine, or you've bought books and you've read through and to try to get this stuff. You can have a one-on-one conversation and follow up those questions. Right. A lot of these people that are selling, I mean, we do get people that travel to the events, but a lot of our sellers are local, so who knows, you might even come across somebody who just got married at the venue that you're thinking about booking your wedding at. So it's a great way to connect with newlyweds that are in your area even.
Exactly. Tip number 4 is bring bags or totes. So most of your sellers, when you're buying an item, are probably going to have something that it is prepackaged in, but sometimes you're buying 1 or 2 items and they might not be able to give you the whole box of whatever you're purchasing. So it's a good idea to go ahead and bring your own bags and your own totes just for storage purposes.
You will thank yourself later. Because you may be making several trips out to your car with stuff, and it's great to have everything all together in one place.
And also, go ahead. I think you know what you're going to say.
Make sure you have room in your car.
Yes, that's exactly what I was
Yeah, make sure that you cleared out a space, because it is typical that we find that people come there, they look at the previews and they know what they're actually looking for, but they always end up finding so much more than that.
Yes, so make sure you have some space.
Yeah, room for everything.
So the next 2 tips are kind of similar. Tip number 5 is it's a fast-paced, fun, deal-making environment. And tip number 6 is don't be late. So both kind of go hand in hand.
You definitely want to get there for whatever time of ticket you bought. The early bird tickets are at 1:30, and we do open the doors promptly at 1:30. The bargain buyer tickets at 2, and again, right at 2 o'clock, we're going to open those doors to let you in. So you want to take advantage of getting in there as soon as you can to get your deals, get the stuff that you're coming for.
And also come ahead of time prepared. Think about what you need to purchase and check out the previews again online, so that way you're a little bit more informed of what you need to purchase right away, and then you can casually shop the event and make round 2 after you've got those must-have items.
Right, and round 2 is a great thing. So, yes.
Tip number 7 is keep in mind that you can be a seller afterwards. So take mental notes on different setups and different layouts of what people are doing as a seller.
And that goes back to there's just nothing that you can buy there for a wedding that you can't resell as well.
Exactly. Anything that you are purchasing at these events can be resold.
So all of it that you're buying there, you'll definitely be able to use that again as a seller. So we do get occasionally people saying, I don't know if I have enough to sell. Believe me, you have more than you think you do. And if you bought your stuff through FancyFlip, you're going to have plenty to sell.
Yes. Tip number 8, we take pictures at the event. And we would love it if you came prepared to take pictures too. So take pictures yourself. We've got props and things that you can do so afterwards. Again, we want this to be fun, make a memory, share it with the people that you're bringing with you.
And then you can be a superstar the next day because
Yes.
you're going to take the photos from the event and we're going to post them to our website the next day.
Yes.
So we like to share as well, but we would love for you guys to have memories of your own. So do bring your cameras. Leah and I are always hanging around the event as you exit, and we would be more than happy to take a picture for you. So yeah, that's great.
Tip number 9 is before you leave, make sure to double check your items.
You don't want to leave anything behind. You bought a lot of great stuff. You want to make sure all of it gets home with you. So one thing that we would advise doing if you are going to shop and leave some of your items at one of the booths or with one of the sellers, that's fine. Exchange information with them if you can. That way you can get a hold of each other afterwards if the unexpected happens and you do happen to forget. But just take a minute as you're leaving, kind of look over everything in your car before you get in and pull away. Make sure that you got everything.
Double count those linens or whatever.
Absolutely, yeah. If you bought multiples of an item, it only takes a minute to go through and count. And the sellers are still in there, so if you did forget something, you can just run right back in and get it.
Exactly. Final tip, tip number 10, is to have your ticket.
Have your ticket ready with you. We get the question a lot when people buy their ticket online, do I have to print it off or can you just scan it on my phone?
Right.
We can scan it on the phone, but if you want to print it off, especially if you have people that are joining you at the event, sometimes it's better if you just go ahead and give them their ticket in case you arrive at a different time. That way everybody can get scanned when they come in. We get the question too a lot, can we buy tickets at the door? That's a little bit tricky because the events are growing in size every time we return to an area. So there is the possibility, because we limit the tickets, that we could sell out of them. And we don't want to turn anybody away or disappoint anybody, but at the same time, we don't want to overcrowd the space either.
Yeah, so if you buy your ticket ahead of time online, it guarantees you entry at the time of your ticket.
And you can have that extra time to plan and make sure. And we also emphasize that if you want to get there a little bit early, a lot of the places that we go to, they have a Starbucks, or some of them even have drinks available or snacks, and you can kind of make a whole event of it.
So those are all 10 of our buyer tips. Again, you can find them on our website under the All About Our Events page. And we're going to be going over to the groups now to continue this conversation.
And don't forget, you can sign up for our newsletters, stay up to date with everything we're doing, and you'll be the first to know when we start any new projects that way.
And don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Tip number 9 is before you leave, make sure to double check your items.
You don't want to leave anybody. You don't want to leave anybody.
You don't want to leave anybody behind.
Don't leave anyone behind.
No.
You don't want to leave.